Hi, this video will be about my childhood. This is Beyond Aliens and the Occult. I forgot to introduce myself. This video will be about my childhood, in particular the incident that occurred during a certain visit to South America when I was about 7 years old, and I have family there and relatives. Uh, we went to the town where I was born, and it was an ordinary night as anyone during the summer. I remember nothing in particular that day more than we were playing and doing family related activities, and it was getting late. The sun had set, and I just remember that I had won for the first time in a long time a board game of some sort, and I was very happy about it. And the others got kind of jealous at me, the other cousins and all. And then I remember that I had a strange urge or feeling, sensation to just step outside of the house in the middle of the night. I don't remember why I did it more than the sensation. And I remember that I just looked at them and said I had to go. And my relatives, my aunt and my uncle were there. My second uncle, not the one I'm used to being with here in Sweden, but the one that lives in South America. He was present, and he said, "Why? Where are you going, kid?" And I just started running. Ran and left the house in the middle of the. It was getting very late. It was night. Not. It wasn't like 12 o'clock or something, but it was probably beyond 8 or 9 at p.m. And I start running, and I don't know why. It's like I'm being mind controlled or summoned by something or someone. And I remember running, and I see the streets at night. I see some lights from the street lamps, and most lights are just from the windows from the nearby houses. And I start running like in a frenzy. I mean, I remember running and running and running, and I didn't know why I was running. And I end up in the crossroads in the street there. I'm saying deer, I'm sorry, I apologize for that. I end up in the crossroad, and I stop for a minute, and I look around, and I see on the hill, because the house was located on a big mountain, so it's a hill behind it or another mountain. And I see above the dark hills or mountains that an orange sphere of light is emerging and approaching slowly, completely silent and devoid of any sounds or notable aircraft, airplane, helicopter sound, engine or anything. It was completely silent. It made no silence. And I see it hover and pass above the treetops and above the hill. And it heads towards where I'm standing. And then I start running to get closer to it. And I end up on a higher ground on the same hill, on the same street, just a bit higher up on the street, and I get to a point where there's another crossroad, and then I see that this craft has stopped completely still above my head. And that's when I start to understand and feel that something is weird or something is not normal here. I'm being forced or conjured for some reason, being felt like I'm mesmerized about the craft, and that I'm supposed to be there. And I hear dogs barking loudly. Otherwise, it's dead silent, completely dead silent at night. And I hear dogs barking, and when I look up to craft, I can see clearly that it's disc-shaped. It's a large circle with different kind of metallic, silver-plated structure. It has a rotating cylinder panel or something in the middle that rotates, and I see all sorts of lights around it. It has like small lights around the structure of the saucer, and I remember looking up at it, and I knew that this wasn't anything normal. And I just didn't know what it was because I was so young and I didn't really know much about UFOs or aliens back then. So I remember thinking that this is something incredible. I don't know why I'm standing under it. I don't know what will happen next, and I just look up to it and I hear no sound other than some kind of. It reminds of a generator, a very sublime generator sound, like a something like that. Sorry for the stupid imitation, but it sounded something like that, and. I keep staring at it. I'm completely like in a trance, in a state of trance. I'm not present. I'm somewhere else in my mind, and I remember just looking at it and being completely at awe. And then all of a sudden, the rotating panel opens up, and a huge black hole appears, and I remember seeing a blue light appear from this hole under the craft, and I'm just struck with awesome, being awed, and just keep looking at it, and still in a trance. I can't move, and I just look at it and stare at it, and I see how the light just gets brighter and stronger, and I see less of the craft, and then all of a sudden I'm struck like with a. It feels like a punch. You're being hit by a force of unseen force, and I remember thinking, "Oh fuck, they got me." That's all I remember, and then I feel the sensation as I'm being pulled up or pulled out of myself. I can't really explain it, but I'm being pulled upwards into the craft, and then everything goes black for me, completely black. And all of a sudden, I remember opening my eyes, and it's like nothing has happened. And I'm standing on the harbor, the local harbor, a few hundred meters away from the crossroads where all of this took place. And I see the same craft with an orange glow from afar, hovering above the shorelines and heading towards the distant horizon. And I hear in Spanish, Cabro weón, ¿dónde te fuiste? It means stupid child. Where the hell did you go in Spanish? And I remember the voice. It was my mom's voice, and I'm still very confused, and I have a sensation that something happened, something unpleasant, and something can't remember what happened. That I have. It felt like a dream, everything, but it was a real dream. It felt like a dream, but something that was real. It's hard to explain the sensation. And I remember my mom running towards me, just screaming, angry, being a typical angry, mom that was just. She was more afraid this time than actually angry, because she used to be very like rough with me when I was a child, beat me up and stuff. And she just said, "Where the hell did you go, you stupid child? You had us all worried. We were yelling at you to come back, and we have been looking for you." She told me, and I said, I don't know what I'm doing here. I just ended up here." And she said, "You have to go home. You're grounded. You're not allowed to go out ever again if you behave like that. You're completely insane," she told me. And I remember telling her, "Look to the horizon, Mom." And she looks towards the horizon, and she sees the craft. And she says, "Wow, that's not, what's that?" She said, telling me. And told her then back, "It's not from here." I don't know why I said that, but I said, "It's not from here." And she said, "But it's probably just an airplane or a helicopter or something." And then I tell her, I said, "It's not from this world. I know it. Just, it's not from here." And she looked so shocked and afraid, and she saw it, the craft, from a distance. It was still present and obvious that it was not a normal craft, and she spotted it for several seconds. And we talked about this incident for my entire childhood. And sorry for making those noise with my feet. I will stop doing it. And she denied the whole incident for almost 20 years. We had argues and fights about it. I told her, "You were there when it happened. You saw the craft from a distance. You saw how I just ended up on a random street. You were present the whole time. So why are you in denial? And we were having fights about this year after year, because I knew that I've had a fourth experience of the fourth kind with an unknown civilization or craft or intelligence, because I had recurring dreams of grays and aliens and sleep paralysis my entire childhood. I couldn't sleep without the light turned on. There was so many incidents, paranormal incidents, sleep paralysis, nightmares about saucers, UFO, motherships, and all of that stuff. My entire childhood was completely abnormal. I didn't have any normal childhood whatsoever. And my mom, I confronted her about it many times, until one day, maybe 13 years or 14, 15 years ago, she said the truth, that she remembered it. She remembered me running away, ending up on a street for no reason, and seeing something that looked like a golden sphere from afar that wasn't anything normal, and that she'd been in denial her entire life because it frightened her, to be honest. And she remembers the drawings I made and all of the saucer and the grays, because I used to draw the grays my entire childhood. I used to drew the grays, and the saucer and the incident. And my mom used to say, "Why are you drawing those demons, those creatures, those monsters? Stop drawing those abominations. Why don't you draw something cute from like most people in your age?" She told me. And I was completely obsessed with drawing the grays, and I'm autistic too, so it's probably related to that too. But I kept drawing them constantly, and I was very content with the fact that she finally admitted that she saw it, and it wasn't something I made up, because she used to say I made it up. And I even found some eyewitnesses from the location during this date and time on the internet some years ago, from Chile, from where this occurred in San Antonio, where eyewitnesses reported seeing during a certain date in this time of the year where it happened, a saucer and a golden light passed by some certain houses on the same street and location and town, and just stand hovering, floating in midair above houses. And that is so spectacular, but it's because it confirms that something passed over our house, our family's house, during that event. And I remember clearly seeing the UFO pass close to the house and our houses and neighbors' houses, but nobody else seems to remember this event. So I believe something happened with the memories. It was altered. Their memories were altered and deleted for some reason, or it's in a Mandela effect where it didn't happen in their reality, but I remember it clearly happening in my reality. So yeah, it's a very fascinating event that occurred when I was a child, and it's no strange or wonder that I've been seeing so many UFOs my entire life, and I have pictures and recordings of them, and seemingly endless photos of interdimensionals, grays, reptilians, all of them, everything related to the subject. And I also have found things that look like implants come out of my body, and I had a photo of it that disappeared on my previous computer, because my last computer that I used to use when I was when I used to have my old channel, Cosmic Star Traveler and UFO Skywatcher Savdalen, which is changed to later, I had several videos and photos that were unique on that channel, and they were on the old hard drive, and it all of a sudden broke down for no reason whatsoever. And we had an expert trying to fix it, and he couldn't even fix it. He said he couldn't fix the hard drive; it's dead, completely dead. So the evidence from for example, this implant I'm talking about, it's on the old hard drive, so I can't recover it, unfortunately. But I had an event 10 years ago where I woke up and I had some strange sensation or pain in the back, And I checked for it, and I saw this oval shaped like this tiny almond shaped black substance, like weird synthetic ball or shape, just pop out of my skin, like some kind of object that was being rejected. It didn't hurt at all, but it left a crater on my skin, some kind of scar, and I took several photos of it. It looked very similar to the implants being studied by this surgeon from the US that passed away a few years ago. He was one of the few surgeons and doctors that used to make removal of implants on patients who have been abducted. And when I studied the photos he had posted and I looked at them, it's identical to what I had in my lower back that came out. So I'm positive that it was an alien implant that I had in my body that was rejected at one point. And it's a real shame I can't recover the images, because they are really cool and really spectacular. And the object itself, I contained it in a box, and the box disappeared when I moved to another location, and I'd never found it again for some reason. And I'm going to show you some photos of my brother here, only his ear, because he wants to stay totally anonymous. But my brother, my younger brother, he's had a strange, unexplainable, enigmatic marking, strange and perfect incision in his earlobe that nobody can explain, not even himself or us. I remember when it happened, he just had it from one day to another. I remember him waking up and saying he had a strange itch in his ear, and that something felt wrong with the ear. And I remember us looking at it, and we saw like a hole inside of his ear into his skull, and we were all mesmerized, like, what the hell happened? How did you end up with a hole inside your head, like from the ear? And he said, I had no idea, it just was there when he woke up, and we never found any traces of anything. He wasn't in an injury, nothing. It's a perfect incision, as you can see here on this photo. A perfect enigmatic incision, like in a perfect circle. Something has been taken out of his ear, something was inside of his ear, probably a chip, I assume it's a chip, some implant of some sort. And he's been through he had some paranormal encounter himself as a child, but he's very scared of all of this. And he's more of a skeptic, but in his heart I think he believes in it, but he's very afraid of it, this subject, so he doesn't want to talk about it. But I remember him telling a story when we were children about a large shadow person grabbing his feet and screaming. And I remember the incident. We all woke up at like 12 or 1 o'clock at night, and we hear our brother screaming from the room, and he screams like in complete panic and frightened. And we all came running, and he said, "Oh, there was a black man, a black shadow, standing by the bed my feet, and he grabbed my feet, and he scared me, then disappeared." My mom just yelled at him and told him to shut up, and he was making noise and making up things and imagining. And I told my mom, yes, he's not imagining anything. I saw the black shadow myself just a few days earlier, standing in the corner of the room looking at me. So I believe they've been experimenting with my brother too. He's never been in an experience similar to mine, like seeing a saucer or being abducted. As far as he knows, he has not experienced something like that. But I think it's quite fascinating that he has this incision in his ear, and that there's no logical explanation to it, and no remembrance of how it happened, how it occurred at all. So it adds further validation to my own experience and account as a child to my alien abduction, and its authenticity, and the implants and all of that. And a lot of my relatives have been through similar stuff, or not similar stuff, but they had experiences that can count as paranormal and UFO related and alien related to some degree. So This was my story about my a short version of my experience of the fourth kind with unknown intelligence, and it's been reoccurring. Not the abduction itself, but the whole phenomenon has been always reoccurring in my life for as far as I know, and I've had like countless of experiences with them, both in awake states and asleep in the astral or in the dream state. It's been occurring my entire life, and I have. If you have seen some of my older videos on the channel, on the previous channel I used to run, you can see everything from like entities running around on fields and countless of images of them, the greys, the reptilians, orbs, and UFOs that I've captured. So this phenomenon has been ongoing my entire life, and it really never stopped. I haven't seen many sightings or UFOs the past years, but because I haven't been paying much attention to them either. But the whole paranormal poltergeist-like activity never ceased for me. It's been ongoing my entire life. I don't get sleep paralysis anymore though. I can't remember the last time I had a sleep paralysis, thankfully. And so this was my own personal alien abduction account, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and I will try to reply. Also like the video and subscribe if you haven't, share the video, and have a nice day. Take care. Thanks for watching.